We have a special guest here on the platform with us as well. He's from Indiana, so I'm going to let Trish introduce who's with us this afternoon.
This is Keegan Fossmeyer. He is truly a Hoosier.
I am, yes.
Born and bred.
Born and bred, yes.
And he is a fine example of what happens when you're born in Indiana and you live in Indiana.
I'm flattered.
And so tell me a little bit about how you came to be in Pathfinders. And
Yeah, so I was born in Indiana, just north of Indianapolis, in a little town called Carmel, and I actually got involved in a different city's adventure club with some very long-time standing adventure leaders, Annette and Jimmy McGlam. Some of our listeners might be aware of them, and I did that track all the way through, and then I got involved in my local club's Pathfinder, or my local church's Pathfinder club, the Glendale Guards at the time, and I went through that track all the way through, and man, I mean, what's not to love about Pathfinders? I just fell in love with it.
So you started with Adventures. How old were you when you first started? Do you remember?
Man, I think it starts at first grade.
Okay.
Is what it was. So.
And you went all the way through?
All the way.
Were you a TLT?
With that Glendale Guards troop, I was with them for, I want to say 6-7 years. Okay. Yeah, so I started as a 5th grader right after Adventures, and I went all the way through high school. So even like my junior, senior year, just finished it out.
Wow.
And so after you were in Pathfinders, how did you be introduced to Pastor Charlie, our youth director?
You know, I've met Pastor Charlie several times down at camp, but I don't know what it is. He seems to be, I don't know if it's just the weird people that he's attracted to, but something attracted him to me and was like, hey, you should come work at Timber Ridge Camp this coming summer. And so he had me lead out his mountain bike department down there, which is kind of a high honor if you know Charlie. He loves mountain biking.
He is a biker, isn't he?
He is a biker. Yes. I happen to be married to him. I am a biker.
Yes, you are.
I know this for a fact. But so you worked in mountain biking, and then what after that? Yeah,
that was my first summer, and I did that 2 summers working as the mountain bike director at camp, and then I took a summer to be a counselor and also helped out with the zip line. And then I did 2 summers working as the nature center director, kind of showing kids the different animals and taking them outside and really getting their hands dirty, you know, out in the woods. And
building forts?
Yes. Fort building and really storming the fort is what's a lot of fun with water guns and water balloons and whatnot, especially in the hot Indiana summers that we have.
Yes.
Amen.
And then my final summer there was actually working as Charlie's assistant director, which was a high honor.
And you did a very fine job.
Oh, thank you.
And so after that, where did you go?
Well, from there, I mean, while doing that, I was at Andrews getting my degree in theology, and you know, the normal track is to go and be a pastor. I wasn't convinced that was my track per se at the time, but I continued and followed it out while working at Timber Ridge and being at school, and out of the blue I get a call from the Washington Conference director, and I'm working out there now as a youth pastor. So
Amen.
Yeah.
It's exciting to think that someone started in Indiana as an adventure adventure club member, went all the way through and began to work at the camp, and now is pastoring in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. That's just an amazing story.
Yeah.
And we get to have him back in Indiana because he's going back for his MDiv.
I am, yes. This coming December.
Oh, you are?
I am.
Okay.
I will be coming back, and we'll continue to help out with different Indiana youth events, hopefully, if they let me back.
Amen.
Just always remember you're a Hoosier. So.
This is true.
But you got your grassroots of how you wanted to do ministry as an adult when you were in Adventures and Pathfinders yourself.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm working as a youth pastor now, and working in those things, I had pretty key leaders during my times of Adventures with the McGlams and then in Pathfinders. It really wasn't even the director that really spoke to me. It was older kids in the club that just kind of took me up under their wing, and just having those experiences really was like, you know, I want other kids to have that experience. And so that just, I mean, that translates perfectly to working at a summer camp. I mean, as a staff member, you are directly mentoring all the kids that come and interacting with them and spending time. And, well, I guess that naturally followed the track to be a youth pastor, where that's my job of just working with kids at our local church, and we have a school attached to it as well, and I help out there.
You know, one of the things, Trish, knowing Charlie, you know him much better, but I know that he has a vision for mentoring young people. And so he sees his ministry not just to provide activities, but really to mentor young people and the staff at Timber Ridge Camp. And I really appreciate that, because as we look through the years, we see several who have become pastors, like yourself, Keegan. We've seen some that become teachers, and we've seen that even in recent years. So that is because of that mentoring philosophy that Charlie and others have introduced at the camp. And so a lot of people don't realize that. When you think of Timber Ridge Camp, you think of all the fun activities for the young people, but it's life-changing for the staff members as well.
It is.
And the mentoring that takes place. So tell us a little bit about what that was like for you to kind of be mentored by a youth director, taking you under his wings. You became the assistant, you said, in the last year. You became the assistant camp director. So tell us what it was like being mentored by Pastor Charlie.
It even starts even before going to camp, because I was not going to go to camp at all, either as a camper or as a staff member. And it was
It's amazing how God works.
Yeah, it is. And it was through God working through Charlie. He really took an interest in me and was like, hey, I really want you there. I want you to come. And from that, just in my time there, he spent time with me, talking, getting to know me, and helping me out. And Charlie does a really good job of challenging people at camp. And so while I was there throughout my different track, certainly there were challenges.
Yes.
But he's not someone that wants to put you in that challenge and see you fail. He wants to see you succeed.
Amen.
And so through those, I have grown definitely as a leader and as a mentor myself. And I feel that way, that I mentor young people as well.
Well, we are so appreciative, Trish, of your ministry, Charlie's ministry.
Thank you.
Keegan, thank you for sharing your testimony.
Of course.
What a blessing to hear your testimony and what God has been doing. We just continue to pray for your ministry. God's going to use you in a powerful way.
Well,
and just to think that the seeds were planted at adventure age, and to see that now bearing fruit. And thank you to all the leaders, the McLambs and others who took you under their wings as well.
Very much
Amen.
so.